Less than a year ago, I could not do work at all. I would always try and study, but then within 5 minutes, I'd be scrolling or playing video games again. I had all these sick projects, right? I wanted to start this YouTube channel. I wanted to start a business. But instead of doing work on them, I always just found myself procrastinating and procrastinating and procrastinating. Now, I basically work the whole day and I'm happy to do it. I feel fulfilled and I actually look forward to doing my work. This video is not going to give you some generic advice on productivity or some motivational discipline speech. This video is a collection of the top lessons and the best framework that I personally used from my journey to go from Goontown to master productivity. I'll be providing you with a framework to not only be able to do more work consistently, but also how to actually enjoy your work and feel fulfilled from it. If you want this video to actually help you, you should full screen this, okay? Get out of the comments, get out of suggested videos. You're gonna feel the urge to click off to go do something or watch a video more stimulating, but you have to fight that urge, okay? Recognize that urge is the exact reason why you always procrastinate all the time. So if anything, if you hate me, you hate my channel, you think I'm chopped, at least use this video to practice fighting that urge. The type of work I'll be referring to in this video is work that you are not obligated to do. Because work that comes from an obligation is so easy to do, right? Like everyone who's watching this video went to school and you are obligated to do that because if you didn't go to school, your parents might beat you, your school, you get terrible grades, yada, yada, whatever. That's obligated work. That is easy for you to do. All of us, it is easy for us to go to school. It is actually like weird and hard to not go to school to go do that work. What I'm talking about is specifically work that you have no reason to do, or the reason to do it is so far in the future that it feels like there's no reason for you to do it. And thus, that makes it really, really hard for you to actually push yourself to go do that work. Examples of which are like all these passion projects, right? This YouTube channel or starting a business. These are things where the positive effects of these come like years and years in the future. So working on them right now is sometimes difficult to do because your brain doesn't recognize that it's an important thing to do, as opposed to something like school obligatory work, where your brain does recognize like, damn, we have a test in like 2 weeks, I should probably lock it. The best way to do work is with deep work. Now, deep work is where you focus on one subject or topic for a very long time. So fuck all that like Pomodoro technique shit, all that cute little stuff. If you actually want to get the most bang for your buck in terms of work, productivity, and time spent, it's got to be deep work and there's nothing else. Deep work is basically 90-minute period, okay? Don't go shorter than 90 minutes. You can go an hour, but just know that's a little gay. 90 minutes is like the sweet spot. You can go longer if you want. And just pure, unadulterated, raw focus, flow state on one specific work topic. Deep work is the most efficient way to do work. So if you're like the younger version of me and you care so much about optimization and being efficient, then deep work is actually what you need. Deep work is what you want to do. Deep work is how you get like a whole week's worth of work done in like a single sitting. Okay, it's freaking deep work. And this concept comes from a book titled the same concept, Deep Work by Cal Newport. I highly recommend everyone reads it, but you don't have to. I'd rather you learn it from my YouTube channel and give me subs and likes. Getting into deep work is really easy. You just have to focus for the first like 10 minutes. Because once you focus for that first 10 minutes, it's sort of like a warm up and then you get into this flow state. And once you're in the flow state, it's easy to maintain it. It's like static and kinetic friction. I used this example in my last video and I'm going to reuse it because I'm not creative. It is always easier to keep an object moving than to start it moving, okay? If there's like a huge box, it's a lot harder for me to start pushing it and to get it to move than if it's already moving. I'll just have to maintain whatever pressure, whatever force I'm putting on it. So one of the goals of this video is to help you start deep work and then maintain deep work, not break the focus. Because it's always harder to start a deep work block than to just maintain one. And the first thing I want to say related to that topic is about when you tend to procrastinate when you're doing work. So you're in this nice, long, sexy, deep work block, okay? You're getting so much work done, nice. The problem comes from two things, okay? The first one is checkpoints. Now, checkpoints are basically when you finished a big bout of work, but your deep work block's not done. So let's say you have a deep work block that lasts 90 minutes, and at the 45-minute mark, you finish like half of your content for that deep work block. Your brain is naturally going to, this is what your brain is going to tell you. I'm going to literally inner monologue it, okay? Your brain's going to be like, hey, we already finished half. I mean, we've just finished half. This is a nice checkpoint. It's a nice round. I don't want to start the next section yet. So how about let's just go play an hour of video games. Let's just go jack off right now. Let's just go eat junk food. That's what your brain tells you when you reach these small mini checkpoints, okay? And your brain will fabricate these checkpoints. They don't even exist. Your brain will make them up because your brain just wants to procrastinate, okay? We all have the brain of a procrastinator. Checkpoints are inevitable because your brain can make infinite excuses, but I'll talk about how to eliminate them more later. The main one we want to focus on for this section of the video is about decision fatigue, which is the second way you tend to procrastinate while doing work. When you have to make decisions, you take a break from your flow state. So I'm in this flow state, I'm typing up this most spectacular 100% teacher glazing essay of my life. But then the moment I have to make a decision, I have to be like, okay, now do I work on the intro paragraph or body paragraph number 3? That's when my focus falters. Because my focus, I'm outside of this, I'm in deep work, I'm zoned in, I'm locked in. But all of a sudden I get locked out because I have to make a decision and I'm no longer in this flow state. This is when your procrastination monkey brain amygdala kicks in. Your monkey brain, okay, your amygdala, your Diddy procrastination brain is going to say, oh, this guy just stopped doing work all of a sudden. Let's use this opportunity, flood this guy with all the urges to go scroll, to go play video games, to go eat junk food. So I found that about like 90% of the times I procrastinate when I do work is when I have to make a decision. So specifically for me, that's like, oh, do I script this new video? Do I work on this one or this one? What's the branding for this one? You know, when I have to make these big decisions is when I tend to procrastinate. The solution for this is to have a roadmap and to always fill up your deep work blocks so you know what you're doing at every single time and there's no decision fatigue that's gonna give you a monkey brain a chance to corrupt your thoughts. The way I did this is I live a very scheduled life, like an extremely scheduled life. You can see my calendar right here. It's fucking completely filled to the max. And I recommend this for everyone. I think it's awesome. But if you don't want to, at least do one thing. Schedule in deep work blocks into your calendar, okay? Every single day, you're scheduling your deep work blocks. Make them empty, okay? They should be empty. And then what you do is you fill out those deep work blocks with all the work that you're going to do throughout the day. This method prevents you from procrastination because during your deep work block, you will know exactly what to do at every single second. The moment you finish one section or one thing, you immediately have the next task lined up. There's no room for you to make decisions to think like, oh, what do I work on next? Do I do this? Do I do this? What about this? Should I do these two things? Should I go worry about this? Basically, you want to cut down on all your thinking time, okay? Your deep work block should just be you just hammering out work. Now let's talk about brain points. Your brain is like a muscle, okay? It starts off super strong, super jacked, like pumped up to start the day, and gradually goes down and down and down as you use it. Naturally, that means that at the start of your day, your brain is the sharpest, the smartest, the sexiest it'll ever be throughout the whole day. And at the end, it is the most retarded, like brain dead version of you it'll be. Okay, obviously, disclaimer, there's variations, right? You have a cup of coffee in the middle of the day, maybe it spikes back up. You have a huge meal in the morning, lots of carbs, maybe it goes back down, okay? But on general, it follows this route. We want to take advantage of this as much as possible. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to do the hardest task at the very start of your day when your brain is the sharpest and smartest it'll be. What this looks like is at your earliest deep work block, okay? My earliest deep work block starts at 6 a.m. because I like to wake up early. I also recommend everyone to watch this video to wake up early, but that's like another topic. But just at your earliest deep work block, the very first one, do the hardest task. So remember what I said earlier, right? You assign tasks, you assign work during these deep work blocks. Assign the hardest work in this very first deep work block. So there's lots of benefits of doing this. The first one is very obvious, okay? You're doing your hardest work, which is often your most important work. When you're the sharpest, the strongest, the sexiest, which means your work by proxy is the sharpest, the strongest, the sexiest. And if it's your hardest work, usually, okay, it's also your most important work. But you're also gonna feel like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. Because if you do the hardest work first, that means by proxy, naturally, every other piece of work you do throughout the day is by definition easier than the hardest work. To help you understand this, I'm gonna just give you an analogy. Let's say you have two dishes in front of you. This is called eat the frog analogy. You have two dishes in front of you. You have a lavish meal and you have a cooked frog. And someone walks in, they says you have an hour, you have to eat both. What most people are gonna do is they're gonna eat the lavish meal first, right? Because who the fuck, unless you're French or something, you don't want to eat that frog, right? But you're gonna eat this lavish meal, and while you're eating it, you're gonna be dreading this frog. You'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that frog. Oh, I don't want to eat that. It's gonna ruin your appetite, your taste. What the smart, intellectual, goated person does is they eat the frog first, okay? They see the frog, they eat the frog, devour that shit. They don't need no second thoughts. They just gulp it down, okay? They try their best not to think about it or overthink about it. Then they spend the rest of the hour just enjoying their lavish meal. This frog, the weight of the frog has been lifted off their shoulders. They can enjoy the rest of the meal in peace. So this is sort of like the effect that doing the hardest thing, eating the frog for your day, does for you. if you do the hardest thing first, the rest of your day is by comparison easier, and you're also not gonna be like dreading this hard task. And besides, like doing the hardest task first is just, you feel awesome, okay? You feel sick, awesome. You feel like a disciplined David Goggins, like freaking fucking like mastermind when you do the hardest thing first. You feel like you're disciplined. You feel like you're motivated. It's just a good, fulfilled feeling to have. Okay, so those were some of the most important tips to actually keep you doing work. Now let's talk about how you can enjoy work. And I cannot stress how important this is. Because if you enjoy doing your work, you're literally unstoppable. Okay, if you like doing work, if doing work is the equivalent to playing video games for some other people. Think about it. You have people out there who are addicted to playing video games, who play video games for like 8, 10, 12 the whole fucking day, who are scroll the whole fucking day. And they do that like every day consistently. Imagine if you had that consistency in your work. That'd be unfucking believable, right? So liking your work, being fulfilled by your work, having work like fill your brain with serotonin is a very, 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 very important thing I think all of us should strive to achieve. But I want to clear up a misconception first, and it's about motivation versus discipline. So the reason I want to clear this up is because I was a retarded individual for super long in my life. Here's what I thought. I was like, oh, motivation's a piece of shit. I followed all these David Goggins, fucking Andrew Tate, Hamza, dumbass bullshit, right? I was like, oh, motivation's a piece of shit, okay? I hate motivation. Discipline is weird. I need to be disciplined. It doesn't matter what I feel like. That's a fucking lie, dude. Motivation is fucking awesome, right? That being said, I'm not shitting on discipline. Discipline is necessary, but you should want to chase motivation. You should strive to be motivated. Because what is motivation? Motivation is literally wanting to do your work, liking to do your work, feeling good when you do your work. Discipline is like, I don't feel like doing my work. I feel like a piece of shit, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I'm a tough guy. I think both are necessary, but the mistake I made was I just completely threw motivation out the water. I thought discipline was everything, and that made me waste months and months of my time. What you should do instead is to chase motivation, okay? You want to make your work as fun as possible. You want to make it so that you actually enjoy your work, that you're motivated to do your work. But if you're a piece of shit and you're not motivated, that one time in a blue moon, like once every other day, once a week, that you're not motivated, you feel like shit, maybe you slept like shit, maybe you had an argument with your parents or something, that's when you use discipline to still do your work. But most of it should be carried by motivation because you should want to do the things you do in your life. If you want to make work fun, you have to get into the flow state and you have to actually stay in the flow state. Because when you're in the flow state of work, that is when work becomes fun. When all of your focus is on work and you're not even thinking about distractions, you're not fighting this tug of war battle between your urges and your common sense, that is when work is fun. So we want to keep you in this flow state as much as possible. And we're going to go back to checkpoints, right? Remember when I said that checkpoints were the first way you procrastinate when you're doing work? They're inevitable, okay? I'm not going to lie to you because your brain can come up with infinite checkpoints. You can always finish a section. But one thing you need to know is that we humans have a natural tendency to want to finish what we start. Therefore, you should abuse this, right? That means the hardest time during your work is starting a new section. Because if you can just get started, then your brain instinct takes over and your brain just wants to finish that section of whatever work you're doing. So, if I'm scripting videos, right? If I just scripted the intro, the hardest part in the whole deep work block is to start scripting the fucking tip number 1. But once I start scripting tip number 1, now I'm in this flow state. Now my brain doesn't want to give up. I'll completely finish it. Then when I finish that and I'm starting tip number 2, I'm back to this tug of war. This cycle continues. I just want you to be aware of this. The most important time in your whole deep work block is when you're starting a new section. You're past this checkpoint. You have to use a little bit of discipline to sort of push yourself, get started on this next thing. If you're really good, maybe you're in the flow state. You can completely skip past these. But use your little bit of discipline, push past that. You get into this flow state and you do effortless, delicious, sexy work for the next 10 minutes or so. Until your brain inevitably finds another section, retarded thing for you to focus on. If you actually want to enjoy your work, you have to not fuck around with being optimal. Now, this was another big mistake I did. I wanted to optimize everything, increase efficiency as much as possible, and make sure I was just doing work 24/7, and I was always focusing on every micro detail of my work. That's kind of bullshit. Okay, it's not complete bullshit, but it's mostly bullshit. For example, early in my YouTube career, granted, I don't have that much of a YouTube career, so take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. But early in my YouTube career, I always be checking analytics, right? I'd be checking analytics and I'd be trying to make my YouTube videos like really good. And you can watch them. Like my first 10 videos, I edited them too. They were so shit. And I was also trying to be so serious all the fucking time. I was like serious in my videos. I wasn't like cracking jokes or anything. I wasn't sitting here. I wasn't nice and fucking comfortable, snug as a bug in a rug. And that is when I didn't like, I know it was close to the beginning, okay? But that's when YouTube was like the worst for me. YouTube became really fun and really fulfilling when I sort of said, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna make whatever content I want, okay? Then I started posting completely raw, no edited videos where I just talked about, like some of them, I literally, half of my videos, I have no script, not a single script. It's just the title, and I just go on and I yap. I literally yap about whatever I talk about. And then I think they come out so much more naturally and like fluidly, right? I think your work, specifically your passion projects, should stay fun and fulfilling. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to completely ignore all this optimal bullshit. You're not going to hyper fixate over the success. You're going to do it because you like doing it. And because you have that type of mentality, success is just going to come to you because success is attracted to that type of mentality. At least I think, okay? Granted, you know, I do have fucking 6-7 subs, so, you know, maybe it's not working. Who knows? But there is one thing I can tell you. I will keep posting even if I don't pop off for like the next like 10 years. Just because this is already fun for me. Like recording this, editing this, scripting this is already fun and fulfilling for me. So if it's already fun and fulfilling for me, why would I ever stop? Even if I don't get any success. I think too many people focus on only the success portion. And because they're hyper fixated over the success, not only does the quality of their videos and their authenticity completely suffer, but then they don't even get the success they were looking for in the first place because of that. So I think in terms of passion projects, right? A lot of things you're working on your own. Don't hyper fixate over the success. Just do what is fun and what is fulfilling when it comes to your work. And then you're going to enjoy it a lot more. I just want you to know that if you actually follow this video and you're really consistent, you will see success. But you have to apply action. You have to do shit, okay? You actually have to act every single day for a long time, no matter how hard it gets. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, but you kind of have to ignore all of them, okay? And just keep trying as hard as you can. I sort of lied to you, okay? Less than a year ago, yeah, that's kind of true. Less than a year ago, I was kind of a gooner. But I've been a gooner for 4 years. And I've also been on self-improvement for 4 years. So this journey has been very, very long for me, okay? It took me 4 years, 5 years, I think. So just know that you're in this for the long term, okay? But if you keep trying, and you're consistent all the time, you can't possibly fail. Also, I'm here for you. You know, I support you. Fist bump. So the thing I want you to do right after watching this video, go eat the frog. Go do whatever task you need to do. Because I know you have some work you could be doing right now. Go do that right now. And yeah. Or, you know, or watch another one of my videos. Like, subscribe, whatever. Buy my $3,000 course. See you guys. Now the best way to do if you are, fuck you. You are so bright. Fuck, man. God damn. Yo, I just got flashbanged.